let's jump right into this explainer. Have you ever wondered why you can have, a killer career and a full bank account, but still feel completely unfulfilled? Well, today we're exploring author Zhu Feng's fascinating framework. It basically categorizes literally all human pursuits into 3 distinct types of wealth. It's a genuinely profound way to look at why we do what we do, and more importantly, why we sometimes feel so completely burnt out despite our absolute best efforts.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll define these 3 great treasures, break down material wealth, spiritual wealth, and soul wealth, look at the very real danger of imbalance, and then finally, we'll discover how to actually achieve what he calls the perfect life.
Starting off with Section 1, the 3 great treasures, or the framework for a balanced life.
Which brings us to Section 2, material wealth, the physical foundation.
Let's start with the absolute most tangible pillar. Material wealth is, well, exactly what it sounds like. It's the physical foundation we actually need to sustain our human bodies. We're talking about currency, real estate, your car, your groceries, the clothes on your back. We absolutely have to create this wealth through our own intelligence and hard work. Why? Because without it, we literally lack the foundation to survive. You can think of it as the rent we pay to exist in the physical world. It's an entirely necessary, unavoidable pursuit.
But a really critical warning emerges when we start looking at the extremes here. On one side, you have the obvious reality. Lacking material wealth means you're impoverished, right? You starve and your undertakings fail. But look at the other extreme. If you only possess material wealth, think of the ultimate soulless corporate raider who only cares about their stock portfolio. You actually become spiritually sick. You become prone to crime, despair, and according to the author, abusing life and nature. Money alone, without anything else, is just a recipe for absolute disaster.
Let's move on to Section 3, spiritual wealth, exploring the mind and consciousness.
So spiritual wealth moves us inward. This encompasses all the elements that enable our consciousness to remain healthy, free, and uplifted. It's your pursuit of knowledge, getting a degree, mastering a hobby, leaning into family affection, and even building a good reputation in your community. The text points out that without this mental and emotional well-being, we're essentially just animals running on pure instinct, lonely, bored, and completely twisted.
And the dichotomy here is super stark. On one hand, lacking spiritual wealth leaves a person isolated and eccentric, basically just living by instinct. But on the other hand, what if you only possess spiritual wealth? Meaning you have all these grand ideas and you talk a big game, but you possess 0 physical foundation. Well, the author warns you become an opportunistic parasite. You become the classic schemer or careerist who talks endlessly but does absolutely no honest practical work to back any of it up.
Next, we explore the final and most metaphysical pillar in Section 4, soul wealth, the meaning of life.
Now, this goes way beyond just intelligence or relationships. Soul wealth is this intangible energy that elevates your quality of life toward true perfection. Whether you call it the psychic energy of the greatest creator, the program of the Tao, the teachings of Buddha, or just deep spiritual inspiration, this is the ultimate source of your worldview. Without it, we're just wandering in the dark with totally confused values. You're essentially living as a walking corpse.
And here is our final set of extremes. Lacking soul wealth leaves you without any real meaning or understanding of your own existence. But, and this is crucial, exclusively pursuing soul wealth is equally disastrous. I mean, we've all met someone so obsessed with the metaphysical that they're totally detached from reality, right? Like the spiritual guru who talks about cosmic energy all day but can't figure out how to pay their rent. These ghost-like fanatics just play with concepts but fail to connect with humanity, and they end up defiling nature and deviating completely from the real world.
That brings us to Section 5, the danger of imbalance and the need for symmetric balance.
The author draws a really beautiful parallel to the natural world here, looking at earth, water, air, and fire. In nature, these elements mutually reinforce and neutralize each other. Well, symmetric balance in human life acts the exact same way. Just as fire unchecked destroys and water unchecked floods everything, our human drives absolutely have to keep each other in check if we want to truly thrive.
It requires a sort of mathematical harmony. Imagine 3 perfectly equal slices of a pie: material wealth, spiritual wealth, and soul wealth. The explicit warning from Zhu Feng here is that ignoring any single piece of this pie is going to completely prevent you from obtaining a perfect life. It will literally force you down a deformed, totally unbalanced road.
So, we finally arrive at Section 6, Achieving the Perfect Life, the Journey to the Elysium World.
With this framework firmly in mind, how do we actually get there? Well, the steps are surprisingly actionable. You need to learn knowledge and skills lifelong. You must earn proper material wealth through hard, honest work, but critically, you can never become a slave to it. Furthermore, you need to love nature, cherish your family and friendships, constantly self-refine, and revere a higher purpose, without falling into those obsessive extremes we talked about earlier.
The text uses a really striking metaphor for this perfectly balanced life. It says that by controlling this balance and keeping a peaceful heart, your life becomes like a clear stream falling from the head source. It's cheerfully navigating obstacles, jumping across valleys and between mountains, winding its way and rushing to the vast ocean while singing all the way. It's a gorgeous image, right?
And that vast ocean is the ultimate destination. Walking this balanced path allows you to fulfill your wishes, unbind your mortal connections, and finally understand the profound mystery of life. By perfectly balancing material, spiritual, and soul wealth, the author says you will eventually greet death not with fear, but with genuine joy and excitement as you reach the Elysium world.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a direct challenge regarding your own lifestyle. Take a really honest look at your own symmetric balance. Which of the three treasures are you missing? Are you maybe over-indexing on material gain at the expense of your soul? Or are you completely wrapped up in spiritual concepts without a solid physical foundation to stand on? Finding that piece you're missing isn't just a fun thought exercise. It's quite literally the very first step toward your own perfect life. So, what's your next move?